Hey guys, Patrick Donovan, eXp Realty here in Savannah, Georgia. And today, like I said, we're going to be talking about the housing affordability gap and the supply in America's market and how it impacts the Savannah area. We're also going to talk about the housing stats for our area, which is super important and critical. The market is changing, like shifting big time. And if you're not aware of what's going on and you're about to buy or sell a home, you're a mad person. And I'm telling you right now, you got to know what's going on because I feel like we're almost at the peak and coming, like, you know, the roller coaster where you're kind of like this. I feel like we're here and home prices are going to be coming down. So pay attention to the stats. We're going to be going through that today. But of course, if you get any value from this video, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Share this with your family and friends who are thinking about entering into the market this summer. They definitely want to know these stats. So let's get into it. And I kind of want to explain to you what we did today. So let me show you what I did. So what I did was I put together so I got with ChatGPT. We had a little discussion on what was going on in the Savannah housing market and what's going on nationally, right? I got all this information, compiled it together. So I like to do the area stats every month. You see when I typically do my stats, I'm trying to do something a little bit different. But I gather all this information from the Savannah MLS. And for all the markets in our area that I cover, right here, as you can see. And then I also found this awesome article by, it was on the National Association of Realtor website. I'm gonna put it down in the description so you can read yourself. 24 pages of amazing information for you to understand. And as you're a home seller, this article kind of puts it in your mind that you're trying to figure out, holy cow, okay, only this many people can afford the home that I put on the market. So it's very crucial information that we're gonna be going over. I'm gonna summarize it for you in the video, but you can also read the whole article. It's very, very informative. And of course, like I said, we're just gonna go right through this article. Well, actually the article is right here. And then so I put this little presentation together for you. So I hope you guys get a lot out of this. And like I said, like, share, subscribe, please. All right, so across the country, inventory is finally starting to rise. A recent report from the National Association of Realtors shows the number of homes for sale is up by about 20% compared to this time last year. That's good news, right? Not so fast. The report also highlights a huge affordability gap. Median income buyers think teachers, nurses, skilled tradespeople, think military too in our area, can only afford about 21% of the homes on the market right now. Okay, that's less than half of what they could afford before the pandemic, and lower income buyers are being squeezed out of the market even more. And kind of want to show you this. Like I said, this came from the article. Eye-opening and jaw-dropping almost, right? So you look here, so the average income in Savannah, if you didn't know, is $50,000 a year, okay? So that says right now is March of 2025, people in the Savannah area can only afford almost 9% of the inventory that's currently on the market. Last year is a little bit higher, but right before the pandemic, they could afford 27, almost 28% of the inventory on the market. And if it's a balanced market, according to the National Association of Realtors and Realtor.com, in a balanced market, they could afford 32.5% of what's on the market. So think about this real quick. The average salary in Savannah, Georgia is $50,000 or $51,000. They can only afford 9% of the market. Can you believe that? It's unbelievable, right? So even though there's more inventory out there, a lot of it isn't at price points that most buyers can afford. All right, now let's bring it home to Savannah. And here's what's happening locally, okay? We're seeing big increases in inventory across most areas, but buyer activity is mixed. Days on the market is also generally up, which means homes are taking longer to sell. Prices are holding steady in some places and softening others. So let's check it out. So we're talking about Savannah. Right now, median home sales price, $365,000, down by 1%. New listings, 519, up by 1%. Homes for sale, 1,578, up by 70%. It's a huge jump, okay? Days on the market also up by 20%. It's 67 days. Buyers have more options, but closed sales drop by 11%. So sellers might need to be more flexible on price or marketing. So as homes for sale go up and closed sales drop, that just means more and more and more inventory just piling up on the market in our area. So if you're looking to sell, you need to keep this in mind. Okay, in Pooler, median home sales price $358,439, up by 7%. New listings 119, up by 20%. Homes for sale 271, up by 26%. And days on market up by 49%. Prices are climbing, but homes are just taking longer to sell. All right, Richmond Hill. Median home sales price in Richmond Hill is $450,000, holding steady from last year. New listings up by 13% to 151. Homes for sale 457, up by 40%. And days on market 80 days, up by 67%. Whew. Like I said, when you look at the average salary and then you look at what's going on around, like a lot of people can't afford to buy these homes. Buyers are taking their time. Closed sales dropped by 21% in Richmond Hill. As we go to Port Wentworth, median home sales price $323,190, up by 9%. New listings down by 16%, which is surprising with as much new construction is going on here. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. 47 new listings. Homes for sale 88, down by 17%. And days on market 59 days, up by 34%. And despite fewer listings, days on market is still up by 34%. So even though there's less options, which would typically push those days on market down, it's not what's happening right now. Rincon, median price $312,500. Some deals out in Rincon now, down by 3%. New listings 69, up by 47%. And homes for sale 177, up by 44%. Days on market 76, up by 33%. So here's the, if you were looking for a deal and you want to go buy a home right now that is probably reasonably priced and you can negotiate, because look at those days on market right there. You have with the closed sales down by 28%, days on market higher. Look for those high time days on market. In Rincon, you could probably get a hell of a deal. And I always tell everybody right now, like if you're a buyer, okay, and I need you to understand this, okay, and you're gonna buy, right? You're already pre-approved, you already did all that stuff, right? You really need to seriously consider going into Rincon, and if you see high time listings, put in an offer. I always tell everybody, put the ball in the court, serve the ball up, bang, and let's see if they'll hit it back. They're gonna hit it back. When you look at days on the market here, when you say 76 days, that is way different than it was a couple years ago. Heck, even as you see, even a year ago, it's up by 33%. So sellers are starting to panic a little bit. So if you're a buyer right now, might be the time to pounce on those Rincon houses. Median home sales price in Guyton, $346,903, down by 7%. New listings, 96, up by 26%. Home for sale, 223, up by 73%. And days on market, 88, up by 66%. Another market that you might be able to take advantage of. Prices are dropping, but sales are actually up by 23%. So buyers are finding them deals out there. Like I said, they're going for those high time days on market homes where the sellers are, maybe they want to they're in a hurry. Like I said, put a deal together, see what happens. All right, so what does all this mean? Okay, we've got more homes on the market, but many of them are priced higher than what a lot of buyers can comfortably afford. Days on the market are on the rise almost everywhere, which means buyers have a bit more negotiating power, but sellers need to be realistic about the pricing and marketing. Like I said right here, just look right here. This is from ZipRecruiter, talking about the average salary in Savannah, $51,232, okay? Top earners in our area, if you could see it right here, 81,000. 81,000 is top earners. So you look at this chart right here, if you're at 81,000, let's say we're about right here, you're about 81,000, they could probably afford 35% of the market, right? The top earners, 35%, when they used to be able to afford 64% of the market. Like, who are you pricing these houses for? No one's able to buy it. What are you going to do? And then you got to think about it. A lot of it has to do with the interest rates going back to what is historically average, around 7%. But of course, houses are priced at a 3% range, right? So if the interest rates were back at 3%, then yeah, of course, everything would be balanced 64%, right? But now that the interest rates are at 7, it's not the interest rate's fault now. We saw how house prices have exploded since the pandemic. It's crazy. We had in the past 5 years over 50 to 60% increase in prices. It's just unsustainable. And like I said, when you're talking about average wages, 51,000, top earners, 81,000. I don't know who we're pricing these houses for. So for buyers, this could be a good time to explore your options, especially if you're in the market for homes like places like Guyton or Rincon. Like I say, Rincon's not that far from Savannah. I'm telling you right now, it's about probably, depending on which way you go, you could be at the edge of Rincon from downtown Savannah in like 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? If there's no traffic. If there's traffic, then a billion hours, whatever. I'm just playing. But with no traffic, you could be down in Savannah 25, 30 minutes. When I say that, I always think Hunter on Mirror feels like the mark of demarcation when I'm getting into Savannah, because I used to be stationed there. So that's my landmark when I'm talking about Savannah. I went there with no traffic. I got there from the edge of Rincon 25 minutes. So it's possible to get down there. So if you're looking for a deal, Rincon might be the place. For sellers, it's time to pay close attention to your local market and work with an experienced agent to position your home competitively. Here's the thing. All the time it goes to sellers and they always want to sell it higher than the CMA. And what is happening is I understand it. A lot of sellers think that, okay, if we price it higher, okay, then the buyers are going to bring us down. We're going to negotiate. Here's the truth. If you price it correctly, for one, it's going to go fast. For two, you're probably going to get multiple offers if the home is taken care of. Now, if the home is not taken care of, then you're going to sit on the market. So right now, if you're a seller, your house has got to be repainted, new, updated, all that stuff if you want to compete in this market. I'm telling you right now. At the end of the day, Savannah market is definitely shifting, and understanding these trends can help you make the right move. Listen, I do these stats every month, okay, for the entire area. If you're looking to get into the market, buying or selling, you gotta look at these stats, because knowing the stats makes it easier. If you're a seller, understanding the days on the market is gonna make a huge difference for you, because okay, maybe I should price my house below market value so I'm not sitting on the market for 65 days, okay, if I gotta go fast. But also it knows if you're not in a hurry and you're on the market, you haven't got an offer in 35 days, you're not gonna panic. That's the great thing about having the knowledge. I think knowledge is power when it comes to these kinds of things. So check me out every month. And once again, if you get any value from this, like, share, subscribe, share this video with your family and friends that are looking to get into the housing market. If you guys have any questions or just want to chit chat, you can give me a call at 912-657-3544. And I really appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.